wants to see an Oriana, I think there would have been a safer pick as well for Origen. The whole combination just didn't really fit that well together.
I still don't like the Kog'Maw pick overall in that composition. If you're going to go 2 parts forward, make it 3 instead of 1 part backward, because otherwise you're relying on 2 picks to carry you through the mid game. With then like AD carry that will win you the late game. Why not just bring a 3rd pick into that can manage to even out the mid game against a very mid game oriented composition? Yes, Fizz scales well into the late game. It's open again though this time. But now the flexing of that Shen has been removed by Origen, so they're telling themselves we're not afraid of Fizz because we will counter pick it.
And H2K have first picked Thresh quite a lot. It's not something they have to take away from Mythy. It's because Kisane is just so good on the champion. He's very comfortable on it. I don't think necessarily it has to be a first pick though for H2K compared to what other option we could see of there. I mean, getting an Alistar for Mythy is going to be more than fine.
Obviously, place yourself in the mind of Origen. If you've been preparing for H2K, one of the target bans you will be doing this entire series? Probably Thresh. That means Mythy probably hasn't even practiced the champion all too much. Also, his playstyle revolves around more of a disengage component in Alistar and Janna. So I do think they could have left it up longer should they have had a priority pick. But H2K right now, Lulu's out, Shen is out. They don't really have anything that they want to pick early other than the Corki.
And look how much you lose now on the side of H2K. But again, this support pick, Mythy's more than happy taking an Alistar from this one here. So you take the Fizz away, which I think is very key in this matchup now, because also flex pick.
Disagree though, because where are you going to go pick that Fizz on the 2nd rotation already?
Why you would pick it?
Yeah, it was H2K, because last time they just waited until the last rotation until they saw the counter pick in the mid lane. They're like, we're not going to pick it early, so they kind of don't really lose it anyways, because I feel like they wouldn't have picked it on 2nd rotation anyways.
That might be true, they wouldn't have picked it in 2nd rotation, even though, again, they could have very easily done it. We know Ramli can play top, we know Ryu can play mid. I feel like this for Origen is the safer option. You get the Alistar support, and you take away that annoying potential split pusher, potential assassin in the mid lane from Ryu. So Origen clearly high priority on it, and fine giving up a support pick. At least would have been the other one, but because we know Lulex is a Lee Sin player, Origen is going to get everything they want if they take.
That's true. Lulex has been spamming Lee Sin throughout all of the playoffs. Every single game he's had a chance to, exception of one Gragas game. Maokai again for 0-1. So you've got engage, disengage, peel. But how do they round out their composition? We will find out once Origen lock in their next 2. Just as a quick note, Niels' most played champion in summer was Corki, and he had fantastic 28, 8, and 30, as well as denying it from Hyun.
I definitely want to see where that Fizz ends up going, and how much Origen is willing to reveal right now to keep that flex Fizz dream alive.
So as wanted into the Maokai. Up in that top lane. You get double
a good matchup, yeah.
Double Trinity Spike from Origen. Insane mid-game, which is where they started losing ground against H2K in the last match we just saw where they fell behind. Again, at least Alistar would be the expected ones, but they're changing it up from Origen.
However, a good lane swap by H2K. If they manage to get the lane swap off and they predict the way Origen has been playing so far, that Fizz can fall incredibly far behind in the top lane. Really hard to farm as a melee range champion. Under-leveled, under pressure as well. If H2K can pick a safe AD carry that can survive on their own merit, they've looked at Jinx.
Again, it's Hyun's also 2nd most played, undefeated in some...
Into this matchup though, this is incredibly rough. This is
what he's
borderline ballsy.
What he's basically seeing is, sure, he has the Lantern, first of all, but he sees, okay, the Braum is here, then the Corki and the Lee, so there is nothing that is going to directly hard engage on me, and then, except for the Fizz, which is the one who can flank onto him, get the fish connected, and then you can take down the Jinx. But there's decent protection in the Maokai and the Thresh to keep him alive.
So the weakness is flanks on a team that H2K has not been able to defend their flanks particularly effectively this series. On Lulex, who's not buying Sightstone on Lee Sin this series.
I'm not quite sure if I agree with the only target being able to connect to the Jinx being that Fizz. Braum Q Flash, Corki Valk in, offensive Cocoon can all connect on the Jinx enough to immediately lock her down, but
it's done.
Come on, boys.
We will see Ryu expand his champion pool yet again.
I like it.
Tell me why.
Just a lack of wave clear though. But H2K have already signed the paperwork that says like if we fall behind we're dead anyways. So we're just gonna go all in, no wave clear. Yasuo, deadly combination. They have a lot of setup for it.
Okay, I like it into when it comes to like Corki Elise because the long range they're gonna provide the cocoon coming in. Problem is again you're blind picking it first of all. And second, you have no Jinx. Yasuo is your 2 carry, so you're extremely low on magic damage. You do bring some armor penetration from the Yasuo's ulti, but as you said here, late game scaling wise, it looks great champions, but I'm more concerned about what's going to happen in the mid game here because Origen is looking very, very strong in this mid game already, and I'm not sure that Yasuo and Jinx will have time.
That's true. It does pose a bit of a question in terms of the magic damage department, especially when Fizz can all kind of get a free frozen heart too. That will be ultra efficient as well. Fizz looks to be going mid with the top lane Gnar picked up. However, I do like the zone from the wind wall. They have triple knock-up set up. It's a bold blind pick. The only other option would have actually been that Oriana, really, that you could really blind pick in this scenario.
Which would also add wave clear for you.
It would make a super meta game, standard composition, but H2K, I think they kind of realized we need to go all out and snowball our league with some really, really oddball picks. Otherwise, if we play on an even level playing field, Origen will just outsmart us.
It's such a risky comp because now all you have is basically we're going to hard engage onto you. So the Jinx is going to be stuck in the backline on her own, or well, Kissing is going to be next to it, but this AP Fizz, as you mentioned, against the flank is going to basically one-shot it, unless you're playing around getting the reset on the passive end to try and clean up fights. So H2K running a super risky composition in that sense, but we can almost say...
As we jump into Game 4, this could be the game that sends Origen to the finals, or one last chance for H2K to push this series all the way. And H2K have picked an all-or-nothing team composition. What better way to set a stand?
I do think Origen can also split away from that 1-3-1 composition and run a simple 4-1. With Fizz split pushing later on, yes, you want to have teleport, but then you have a really good setup where you have Poke coming out from the Gnar and Niels and Corki. And if a Braum Q ever gets connected, it makes it so easy to follow up on any damage. So you can really have good control around objectives and have a flank from Expected come in.
The problem is, if you have your Gnar sitting with your team, playing around Mega Gnar becomes way too easy for H2K because you have full vision of the Gnar all the time. So it's one of the reasons we want to see him normally sitting in that side lane, stack it up, and then he TPs in, gets the Mega Gnar going when the teamfight starts. But Origen, in terms of engaging, this is what I highlighted with the Jinx pick for H2K is if you look at it, you mentioned how they can flash Q from the Braum as a potential way of engaging. Otherwise, you're looking at the flash Cocoon. Not reliable ways to start the fight, and that's why the Jinx pick, I can understand it from Jan and saying, you know what, I'm looking at what they have to start fights here. As long as I have flash ready and I can position properly, I can dodge around this and then be a bit more a cleanup tool and a tower pusher.
I am a big fan, however, in 5v5 scenarios of Boomerang, Winter's Bite, and Cocoon. Throwing all three out if one connects, facilitates the other, and with so many skill shots, somebody is bound to get hit by at least one of them. That is the rule in my solo queue game.
You can hit the Maokai though, he's going to be like, well...
well, yeah. See how good Odoamne is at eating skill shots.
As long as Janen keeps up his normally very strong positioning, it's going to be Peke and Soas coming with flanks. That's going to get to him. Otherwise, he should be okay, because H2K is turning on the power the other way. They're going to go towards the Nils here with the knockups from this Yasuo here and try and turn it around on Origen.
So the first two games of the series, we had lane swaps. The next two, we have standard lanes, albeit this time it's Australia. They've swapped. The duo's up top, and eventually the top laners will head their way down bottom. Looks like Soaz is already in lane, whereas Odoamne is still holding Lulex's hand for the time being.
And this is also why I think the early rotation Fizz from Origen was fairly smart in the sense we know it can be a flex pick. So what they did was they saw first the Maokai and said, okay, we could take Fizz top now and just run double Trinity Force, Bruise of Fizz. Then they see the Yasuo get locked in the mid lane as a blind pick. They're like, okay, we're going to change it now. We still have that option to swap it down mid and clearly want to take that skill matchup, two assassins once again, and then pick the Gnar instead as also a split pusher, we can say, against the Maokai.
Couple nice trades here from H2K, really using that double range advantage against the melee range support on the side of Origen in that Braum. So they get a bit of a sustain lead. Now the lane stays even though, a bit of a difference in the start as well. Soaz went down immediately. Odoamne was dual jungler, giving his jungle a little bit more momentum, but then sacrificing his teleport in the process. However, this should mean that Lulex now stays on even footing. Hang on, hook into Flay.
Double Flay. Concussive blows about to get procced on Hyanin. And it's actually Hyanin that's forced to blow his flash.
If you get connect on Winter's Bite, AD carry almost always has to flash. Now, as I was talking about, at least super sustain in the jungle. Lulex should be sustained enough. This opens up for early ganks.
Wow, that was a flash playful Trickster. The Venomous Fang is going to come up. First blood, amazing.
That dash from Rio secured the kill for Origen. Great early gank. Snowball the assassin in the mid lane. How is a Yasuo going to farm if he falls behind versus a Fizz? He can always get engaged on another. Hooked on to Nils. Good trades.
That's a flash and ignite.
No
So many heals been used. I don't know. Potion burning. Nils survives. Now you can see why Kissing has had Thresh banned from him 3 games in a row.
And just the setup they have with the Jinx, you have the Lantern, that gives her some mobility, gives her almost a gap close at least to escape, and then at the same time the hooks into the traps. And now Amazing is looking for more, TP as well.
Death Sentence connects onto Mythy. TP's being channeled from Soaz. Defensive flash. There's the Lantern, but it's a 2-man boomerang. Soaz is trying to get hyper. He's got it once. The repel not going to follow for a target, and H2K get away.
I like how Hyanon was waiting, trying to kill Miffy there before he took the Lantern out. Good control though by Kasing, standing on max Lantern rage. Gets Hyanon out. Summoners are blown though, so you could see a lot of volatile ganks coming out when these junglers revisit these lanes that previously blown their flashes.
Really the key thing for Kasing. Didn't want to try and join in and killing Mythy. He's like, no, I'm instantly just going to back away. I am the guy who gives you the cap close. I'm the guy who's going to save you. Gets the Lantern back. Mid lane though, Pekka got that early kill. They keep trading.
Now last game we saw a very good performance from Ryu on that Fizz. I just want to highlight how Pekka managed to get that first blood. He got onto Playful and Tricksters, and as he was landing he flashed forward carrying on the damage. This surprised Ryu and actually facilitated that gank, so really showing that he mastered his champion, is not afraid to use his flash offensively.
Crepo, it surprised me as well. And we're going to see the supports this time both roaming to the mid lane. Mythy, not going to connect with that Death Sentence. Sorry, Kasing not going to connect with the Death Sentence. Mythy is in the middle lane, both with Relic Shield and Tier 1 boots. And both already moving down to join their AD carries. Hyanon and Niels, they've swapped, headed down to their regular lane of choice.
We might just see later on in this game here how both teams once again swap the AD carries to the mid lane, sit and face each other, and then we're going to have these split push wars, the Yasuo into the Fizz. Late game wise though, once Fizz gets the Hourglass especially, I really want to put it heavily in his favor. As long as the Yasuo doesn't get to go one-on-one against Soaz, Origen is going to be fine doing that. And then we get these big team fights later on where the flanks needs to happen from Origen.
And this is something we haven't even seen this entire series. Very early grouping up from Kasing and Lulex, working on their vision together, was lacking the past 2 games so far. Deep pink ward gets placed. It's very hard for people to spot that. That pink ward very often survives more than 5 minutes. Could be crucial into spotting Amazing. Amazing right now is on the left side of the map, so Oduwamnu will have to be careful, because Lulex is controlling the right side of the map. By process of elimination, they know that he's not on the right side, therefore he has to be top lane.
Amazing is top lane. They're not going to find anything. We need to see whether or not Lulex and Kasing can keep up that level of deep vision. Lulex going to steal some of those Gromps away and maybe look for a play down bottom.
If he could get level 6 there, he can actually dash into the lane from behind and kick Nils or Mythy forward, open up a very, very unpredictable gank. Love to see if Amazing can recontrol his jungle, but it seems like they're dividing the map up left side and right side.
And now with Amazing invading on top side, he knows he's not there. Instead,
it connects. Kasing forces the flash from Niels.
That was so close.
Lulex didn't connect the Sonic Wave though.
He flashed through the flay actually. Very, very good, well-timed flash by Niels. Any second later or earlier probably would have resulted into a kill.
Give me the instant vouch though from Corki instead when the hook is flying in the air.
Yeah.
To just dodge it and obviously save your flash. Not sure if he was expecting Mythy to take it, but obviously he has no flash, so that would have resulted in a death. Instead though, top lane, we know how well Nard is doing into Maokai. Soaz is going to be a bully in this lane. He's going to keep doing it over and over. And look who's here. One of the best junglers in the game at tower diving. Oduwamnu, you are in big, big trouble.
Here comes the Amazing Spider-Man. And they get themselves a kill. Just so well executed.
And obviously they saw Lulex commit for a play earlier on the bottom right side of the map. This leaves top left side exposed. Oduwamnu should have been expecting that gank. So it was wiser to base or even teleport out. Lulex needs a fish in the mid lane.
Sonic Wave's a minion, not going to get in range for the Dragon's Rage kick, and Pekka makes it out.
Let's look though at how Origen has played for the last 1 or 2 minutes where they didn't have vision of Lulex. Once Amazing invaded into the top side jungle and saw there was no Lee Sin here, the camps were alive, he knew he hadn't been top side for a while. He called it, the bottom lane stayed very, very far back. And instead, it also allowed Soas to play the bully, play aggressive top. You saw him jump forward because Amazing was nearby and they knew Lulex was on the bottom side. They used that information so well, and in the end, they're the ones getting the kill for it.
Now, previously, the jungle was divided the map left to right, but right now, Lulex was the first one to get that blue buff on the side of Origen. If he returns to Blaze, hands off his blue buff, potentially even to Maokai right there, since Yasuo obviously doesn't need it that badly. We could get a big buff advantage here on the side of H2K on the second round of buffs.
Yeah, we did see Lulex stealing Origen's blue a few seconds ago. Farmed himself up again, a CS lead over Amazing this particular match. Ryu also with the CS advantage in the mid lane again versus Peke. We know that Peke now has access to Chumba Waters, and assuming it doesn't get wind walled, has the ability to all in.
Braum Corki spikes pretty hard actually at level 6. If they can connect Winter's Bite, there's the immediate follow-up from the Glacial Fissure. Also, Corki puts out tremendous amount of damage when targets are CC'd because it's so easy to land Phosphor Bomb, get a proc from Sheen if he ever bases and buys that, get a couple rockets in the face, and you can straight up just focus Thresh here as well because Jinx doesn't have the counter damage to really finish you off because you can always put up the shield from Braum as the ulti connects and negate most of the damage.
I want to see what else Mithy wants to do on Braum though, because Alistar was open. Would have fit in extremely well when it comes to trying to dive onto H2K here and enable the Fizz and the Gnar. Mass amounts of CC coming in, fantastic dive potential with at least Alistar. Up for the Braum instead. Not against any poke really on the side of H2K where we've normally seen the pick come in, or in compositions where you really want to protect your backline, which is not the case for Origen either, because Nils is going to handle himself. 4 people coming bot lane now.
Drag the mana bars. Niels probably just had to Valkyrie out, so you know Valkyrie available for him.
That's a 2-man last breath, and Niels is already down. Teleport started from Soas. He's opted to cancel it. Ryu is looking for more. Glacial Fissure defensively from Miffy, and Ryu grabs himself a kill. Oduwamne looks like he's going to get run down. Soas is going to go Mega Gnar, and he wants to, doesn't even need to. He's shut down Oduwamne.
Yeah, just double-checked, and prefacing that play was a zap into hook that forced the Valkyrie. That put Niels under his tower with no flash. Lulex kicks immediately, because it doesn't matter what direction you kick him in. Anyways, because Yasuo will take over that knockup with his ultimate. Very straightforward dive. Miffy drops 2, so really nice play. However, this leaves the mid lane tower exposed, and Origen open up the map.
And really the big problem here for H2K, despite having such a good dive on the bottom lane, Soas gets another kill top. Last pick in that Gnar. Oduwamne saying, you know what, I'm expecting it to be a fist top lane. I should be able to handle this matchup a lot better. Instead, he's in so much trouble in this game. He's been shut down completely. He has to delay going Righteous Glory just to build up some more defensive stats.
And yeah, as we see Origen pushing that map lead even further by picking up a dragon. I just want to touch on that point on Oduwamne yet again, because H2K does not play well from behind, because Oduwamne is a player, when he's put behind, he seems to fall deeper into the pit instead of crawling out. We've seen a couple of games where he just kept overextending and just kept getting ganked, and Soas should be a player that can punish that very hard. So we'll have to see if H2K have fixed that somehow, get him back into the game, because else he'll keep getting bullied on these side lanes.
Good move from Origen here, taking down the bot lane. They have multiple members on the bottom side, even Soas without teleport. Instead of him staying top, he moves down to another lane, so you have the potential of 5 members nearby, and also you start taking over the jungle and push in a bit further. So tower will be traded though. Rio's going to get the top lane.
H2K need to get a tier 2 tower somewhere, or the tier 1 in middle. Potentially the top lane tower, but even more vision control in the enemy jungle. They need to get something out of this play, because otherwise they're simply getting out-rotated by Origen. Origen's already knocking that tier 2 tower. 4 people here. Oduwamne had to flash.
Maybe another tower for Origen. The rest of H2K still somewhat stuck in odd places on the map. Kasing and Hyanin are there. We do see the Super Mega Death Rocket goes out. It doesn't do a lot. Flame Chompers are splitting them up. Oduwamne's in the middle of the fight, but Hyanin's now being focused. Glacial Fissure comes up from Miffy. That knocks Hyanin out before he gets knocked down. Oduwamne will get stunned by the concussive blows, but here comes Lulex. He needs to find a target. He's going to look for Amazing. Ryu will find himself a kill. It's a 1 for 3, and Origen got a tower, with Soas joining the fray. It's an easy win for Origen.
And we were wondering why Braum over Alistar, but it paid off that fight. He put up the shield as the Jinx ultimate came in. 0 damage, then applied passive on 2 different people. They got stunned at the same time. That is the power of Braum. You can apply your passive on multiple targets at once. Glacier Fisher, once Jarnan is trying to reach the backline of the fight, he got knocked up and popped immediately. Miffy single-handedly won that team fight for Origen. Fantastic play and really, really big lead already for Origen. Only 14 minutes in.
The only saving grace for H2K is Ryu on this Yasuo. He took that tower up top. He's got a 40 CS advantage and nearly 1,300 gold, which we'll talk about in a moment. Here's that fight.
Watch it again. First flash blow. Now keep your eyes on Miffy. He's going to put up the shield to connect the Jinx ulti with it. It obviously does 0 damage. It still does the AoE, but 0 damage on Miffy. Puts it up, does nothing. Now he's going to walk in zone Hjarnan. He's applying passive on multiple targets in the fight too. One on Odoamne, one on Hjarnan. Hjarnan is face checking into Miffy, gets Glacial Fissure. The Kasing still has a passive on him. Odoamne still has a passive on him. Double stun here from Braum. Lewis comes in, can't connect with anyone because Yasuo's not here. They find amazing. Yeah, that pick is definitely paying off for them.
Melee range ADC is the deadest.
Yeah, Jan not really making it very tough there. Moving straight into it.
Take a second to Fisher.
Man, I was wondering why he was moving around like that. Instead, the Origen is still full control. Odoamne, he should keep getting ganked.
Yeah.
Taken down.
He's going to go down. Lulex. No, he's still alive. He manages to walk away. Odoamne survives. Death Sentence doesn't find a target as Soaz teleports onto a Flame Chomper. I'm sure I saw a smiley there from Jinx. H2K. They hold their inner turret, but they lost their blue. Okay, sniped. That's a dead spider. Someone hit the bug spray. Hjarnan's on the board. H2K now looking to fight. Ryu forced to flash defensively. Glacial Fisher's going to come up and slow Hjarnan as the Nar stuns Ryu against the wall. Zap comes out. Kasing gets a death sentence, but it simply does not matter because in the end, Origen look like they will get this tower. Minion Wave is conga lining in. And unfortunately for OG, the wave clear from H2K is good enough.
H2K needs to realize that you just had a 4v4 fight down bottom lane without Soaz. Now you have one with Soaz. This guy is extremely fed. So you cannot just dive onto him normally. These fights would go in favor of Origen. First, they're trying to get Odoamne down. Stays alive. Ludex with nice kickback on Amazing to get in the last execute. And then we get the snipe, yes. But then it's H2K trying. See if they get more kills and then realizing how strong the rest of Origen still are.
Basically, you have to keep using that kick defensively, though. That eliminates a very big part.
All Spilings could have caught that one. Come on.
Part of their combination, which is the kick from Lee Sin into the Yasuo ultimate, and that's what they will be looking for. Lulex has to work on his bowling skills, knock a couple pins up at the same time. AoE ulti from Yasuo, followed by Windwall, and in that time, Hjarnan should be able to deal damage untouched, but then he has to stop face checking.
That's the fancy one. Then there's the boring one where your marker points on click on a target and presses Q, and then you knock them up, and hopefully that could be enough for H2K.
True.
Yeah, but he's not going to survive long enough because in 16 minutes,
one job.
Odoamne's only got
someone up, please.
A catalyst and a ruby crystal. Lulex is still farming up the necessary minerals. He's one ruby crystal away from the very famous song. But for H2K, they're down in gold, they're down in kills, they're down in towers. They need to get some power, maybe from Ryu finding a pick, maybe from stalling until Odoamne can become a front line.
Well, we're going to have a dragon fight incoming here. Source is no TP, that's why he's not in a side lane. Early Sunfire for him, so full focus on getting split pushing power and also a cheap early item to make it a bit stronger, spike a little bit earlier.
No magic damage for the side of H2K.
Different approach in itemization though. When we see Nars fully spec into offensive split push, we've even seen Blade of the Ruined King over at LCK, but really work out all that well. But usually they go Black Cleaver. But so I was saying, okay, I'm building more for team fights. I'm already winning my split push. Why spec into offense when I can just make it so hard for people to kill me? Still push with that Sunfire Cape, so good adaptation there in terms of item builds.
Yeah, we've seen all the adaptations as well, where you have like 1 or 2 tank items first, and then maybe as a third item. We've seen Chachi do it in the quarterfinals. If you want to then go back to your 1-3-1 setup. But definitely with the fact he's been winning his lane so hard, no need for that Black Cleaver. Easy Dragon for Origen.
If he built a Glacial Shroud, he could go into the Harbinger, but I think it's more going to a Frozen Heart because it's just ultra efficient to build it. As a Braum, when you're dealing with that Yasuo, who can then slow down in terms of attack speed, also just build raw armor and you can peel the Jinx. It takes Jinx an incredibly large amount of time to peel through a Frozen Heart shielded up Braum. It's pretty much impossible.
Just another great reason for Source to rush early armor items. Instead of going Black Cleaver, don't go play with Rune King or anything. No, if you just become nearly unkillable for Yarnin in these fights here, you're just going to zone him one-on-one so easily, and it's going to be all about can you avoid Ryu one-shotting Nils basically in the fights.
Traditionally, in League of Legends history, when a team that has a single damage type with relatively limited wave clear falls behind, it becomes exceptionally difficult to pull it back. You then put that exact team with that exact team comp down 2-1 in a best of 5. H2K have one hell of an uphill fight ahead of them.
Got to worry about potential dragons coming in. Origen got them at an okay time. Should be about 4 or 5 minutes for the next one. That's going to be the third.
Now the last mid-game though evolved a bit into a solo queue-esque situation. If you played enough solo queue, you know that 2,000 gold is not enough to let you have victory. Nor is
Watch enough LCS to know that, crap.
A 5k or 10k. So with a good Yasuo play here and there, Ryu can definitely swing this game back into his favor. Because obviously there's armor penetration on that ultimate. So you can never really out-armor Yasuo because eventually he can deal a whole lot of damage. But then he needs to find its opening and dodge the CC.
And his target's going to be the AD carry, who's hopefully not stacking armor later on. We have seen Brandon over a few times.
Tribute to Genja.
Other AD carries. Genja is so the Time Lord. He knew what was going to happen, but
he was waiting for this game. Game 4 in the playoffs, semi-final.
So we're hitting 20 minutes now, and Origen has slowed down the tempo. They did get the previous dragon. They are doing the 1-3-1. Doing to H2K, what H2K did to them in the previous game. And Ryu's going to go all in on Pekka. He will find him with the help of Lulex. Soaz starts the teleport, then cancels it. That means Oduwamne has teleports available. Origen lose the mid lane and back away.
A big mistake from Pekka.
Flash up, didn't use E, I presume. Probably just got connected by Yasuo and didn't expect the ulti. Lulex came in and followed up with some heavy damage.
And the worst thing was his teammate just moved over to try and secure the rest of the jungle because they were timing the wave he was pushing down, and then he gets caught out and dies. This is going to delay everything for Origen because now it buys time for H2K at least to shove out the lanes. You can see top lane Ryu. Someone needs to go back and worry about him. It's going to be Source on the way up there.
Good sidestepping from H2K, not to get caught by that Winter's Bite. But with teleport on Oduwamne and on cooldown for Soaz, H2K have an opportunity to make a play in a side lane.
And there's a couple of deep pink wards hidden well inside the jungle of Origen. Origen actually haven't been in that jungle too much lately because they've been counter-invading. That initial pink ward is still alive, so we might actually see later on teleport from Oduwamne. Perhaps even with home guards.
Need the home guards. Very early for him. If he's going to guarantee getting in that back line, setting up Ryu for the perfect ulti onto someone like Nils.
Finally, though, that one pink ward is about to be spotted by Mithy. He actually cleans it out. So that pink ward survived for a very long time.
I've asked the observers to confirm how many minutes, Crapo. We will give the important updates shortly.
God, I love those vision wards.
Talking about the time and talking about the slowdown in tempo, Oduwamne has been able to finish that Righteous Glory. It's not the greatest of tanky items.
Actually, Mithy
is an initiation tool.
Mithy told Amazing, he's like, guys, I found a deep pink ward. Can we check out brushes, please? Amazing immediately turns around. Let's find it too. So, teleport plays from behind severely limited right now. H2K stuck in their base. Keep your eyes on Ryu. He has to make the play.
We're most likely just going to see Origen say we don't have to risk any tower dives, we don't have to overcommit in our split pushing, we have 2 dragons early on, wait for the next one to spawn, secure that one, then move all the vision over to the Baron, or you can do the Baron first. Now it's 1 minute 40 on this dragon here. Play around those objectives, force the face check instead.
Ryu does not get caught by the Chum the Waters. He's looking for the knockup. Does decide to engage with the last breath as Oduwamne used his teleport advantage to come in. Soaz will go Mega Gnar shortly. The focus is Xpeka, but in a 2v3, it's H2K that are running for their lives. Ryu says, peace out, bro. Do not want. Glacial Fisher comes down from Mithi as all of H2K have started to group up. The death sentence connects, but it's H2K that are sentenced to death. They've lost 2 at the cost of none. Kasing will be the next to fall as the Cocoon from Spider-Man connects. Amazing 4-2-2.
So it's basically just unkillable, stacking so much armor. We saw the damage from H2K, barely touched him. He gets the Mega Gnar, they turn the fight around 2 versus 3 from Origen. They didn't have to go for any plays there, but still feeling like they could maybe catch out Rio. And even when multiple members showed up, they were still strong enough to win.
And that was an insane win wall from Ryu too. He played that fight almost perfectly. Hesitated a little bit whether he should go in for that potential knockup. Now we have Luix. He has to go for the Hail Mary. Steal blind.
Niels catches the Sonic Wave and then catches the kill. 2,000 HP. Flame Chompers are up. Yonan going to decide to back away. Baron should be secured here by Origen. Will there be any exit kills? Hyonan forced to flash over the wall and OG get out.
Let's see it again. Origen with small trap source waiting in the bush, and then now you see 3 guys for H2K. Look at how tanky Soaz is. It's pure physical damage, and then a Maokai who's underfarmed, under level, dealing a little bit of magic damage, and that's not enough. And once you can start taking these fights on the side of Origen, you buy so much time for your team. Beautiful ulti from Mithi. That's 2 kills, 3 even in the end, into a Baron. Like Origen, composition-wise, have so many ways they can play out this game now.
And the amount of time that Soaz managed to buy cannot be understated, because if you watched your minimap at the start of that play, they were coming all the way from the mid lane. Mithi even managed to pass super aggressively because of how well Soaz was keeping them busy with his one-dimensional item build on Gnar. Didn't have to go for the fancy Black Cleaver. I will 1v1 you, bro. No, I will just simply win the team fight for my team. Honestly, barring the game 3, Soaz has been performing fantastically throughout the series and definitely has been carrying the early to mid game for Origen.
Even more impressive when you consider this is his first Gnar of summer.
And he will need to do that if Fnatic expectedly win. He'll be facing up against potentially Huni in the finals. Definitely need to have his top lane game on point.
Definitely the case for Origen, because with the lead they've accrued and the advantages they've built up, they look to close this series out 3-1. We're getting nearer the time the NA LCS semi-finals was going to start, so welcome to all our NA viewers. We've missed a few fantastic games. Origen now need to demonstrate their ability to close and not run the risk of getting cornered by Ryu, because a Ryu Hail Mary is the only thing I see that can pull them back into this.
It becomes very telegraphed though at this point.
I need to burn through like
Rom, Gnar. You can even sacrifice one of your members to the Blood Gods and you will still win this siege.
I just wonder what happened in the pick and ban phase for H2K when they decided we need to blind pick this Yasuo. It's going to be the best option for us with the setup we have. Again, we mentioned how the Jinx, there were so many things that could flank, but then we could see how Yana could maybe decide to stay alive and therefore you could pick it. But then you don't pick in the Yasuo with it, because then you're just stacking physical damage. You have a composition that can only do one thing, and that is jump in, assassinate a target and get a reset, and you need to have the lead to do it, because you're no proper wave clear, you have really no ways of getting back into a game.
Origen, however, do have a way to get out of this game, and it's with the Baron empowered minions, it's with a top lane inhibitor, and a 9,000 gold lead.
Miffy's so far ahead that he actually doesn't have to finish that Frozen Heart. Just says, okay, I'll just go Harbinger. Braum doesn't really value too much from AP, so the Amptome's in that build completely wasted, but he just wants to buff up Nielsen even more because he's just too hard to kill. And even if they get through him, eventually, then the fight's probably already won, so bit of an adaptation in his build there.
We also saw Origen securing another blue buff on their way out. I believe that's the third blue in a row they've stolen from H2K. Reuse Yasuo, reuse last breath in this series is simply not enough. And this could be it. This could be the final minutes of our first semi-final of the summer split. And Origen, despite the veteran players in their roster, this is their inaugural team debut in the LCS, and it would be a final for them as well. So as is teleported in, take the inhibitor turret. Here's the fight. A Flay will interrupt the hop. So as is going to go Mega Gnar shortly, and he's tanking up H2K. Niels and Mithy trading a couple blows in him before they back out.
So tanking that front line from Soaz, jumping in aggressively, zoning people away. Not going to threaten Odoamne. Instead, he's going for Jinx.
Oh, Hjarnen's going to go down. The Lantern's not enough. Soaz is on a rampage. 4-0-3. Chum the Waters gets blocked by the wind wall once more as we see Ryu trying to get on the back line. It's actually Odoamne that picks up the kill on Mithy, but it will not matter. The damage dealers for H2K are down. Origen have super minions almost on the steps of the top lane, and this could be the final push. The Cocoon connects onto Lulex. Amazing. Does get caught by the death sentence, but he's simply too tanky. Odoamne takes a Lantern out, so it's going to go Mega Gnar for the second time this trade, and Origen realize they do not want to give up the lead they've built. They back away after a Nexus turret.
Well, you still got 3 dragons for yourself. Wait 2 minutes for the next one. And a rocket flies by.
Yeah, there it is again.
Gotta see it twice.
I'm having deja vu, guys.
At least it's not a black cat. It's a Jinx rocket. Right now, Origen, yeah. 7,000 gold in the lead, 8,000 gold in the lead, comfortable position. They haven't made those closing errors so far in the series that they were kind of being talked about in the earlier stages of the split. Perhaps they were just toying with their food. Perhaps they just actually had legit closing issues. But so far, it's been pretty textbook. Game 3, they fell behind to a skirmish composition. So they may want to be careful a little bit in that regard, but other than that, pretty well played. And yeah, some members stepping up, as we always joke around, you know. So as an expected stepping up in playoffs, they did.
Historically been the case, and Crepa, you said it at the beginning of Game 1. And we all reiterated it. Origen in playoffs, a lot more focused, a lot more objective-based. And it's built them this honestly massive lead.
Well, the good thing for H2K, however, is as we see Odoamne here being engaged upon, he's going to drop. Lulex is watching that. Watching his teammate go down. He's flanking for a kick, but not even a super good pinball, I think, can save this game at this point.
We're going to need to see whether or not Ryu can play bowling.
Oh,
Hjarnen gets gnawed. The stun doesn't connect, but he will be able to escape. That is a massive flame chomper. Soaz is going to go to Mini Gnar shortly. Aggressive Valk forward into the Glacial Fissure. A 3-man last breath. It does not do anything. We do see Origen grabbing 1, grabbing 2. The Nexus turrets are being focused by the super minions. Amazing is trying to push them down as well, and Hjarnen will not be able to get more kills. H2K get aced. Origen, they were going to Stockholm. Now they're going to Stockholm in the finals